No.
We couldn't beat this game on the system.
No, we don't need to beat it. We just need to give information.
Explain the game in the first level, because this game, Nintendo game, actually changes.
Hey, shut up.
Ninja-looting banditos here, coming through with a Super Ghouls and Ghosts playthrough. Not really a playthrough so much of as a review / general overview of the game. You're in the castle, you're about to make it with your sweet princess lady, and then she gets jacked by those little ghouls and ghosts and goblins. And we're off. We found the pause button, we found the attack button, and the jump button. We are all set to go. Alright, now this game is probably one of the most difficult games for
in existence.
Super Nintendo / in existence. The main crux of what you want to do is find the armor, because it will upgrade your weapons. Right now you can see me jumping around in the starting area like a mad person, because in order to get the armors or the chest to pop out, you have to jump around. And if you screw up, like I just did, and lose your armor in the very beginning, then sometimes a magician will come out and he will turn you into a tiny little baby and make an ass out of you.
So basically what you want to do is jump around like crazy, and that'll activate this treasure chest to come up. And inside the treasure chest, there's going to be different things. Typically it's armor. So depending on the order in which you get the treasure chest,
it's actually the number of treasure chests you open without being hit. If you open all the treasure chests without being hit, it is a set order. I believe it's weapon, armor.
Yeah.
And then weapons again.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Josh,
basically, you get these chests, and you open one up, and it'll give you an armor, then you open a second, it'll give you a weapon, then you open another, and you get an armor, whatever. And you want to not get hit in between, like you said, because that'll upgrade the armor. When you get an armor upgrade, you also get a weapon upgrade, whatever type of weapon. When you get the golden armor, which is the last kind, you get a special kind of
magical attack for the weapon you're currently carrying,
which is pretty awesome. Right now we've got the bow and arrow. That's pretty much one of the best weapons in the game. It shoots at an awkward angle, but it fires really quickly, and when you get the next armor and the weapon upgrade, it hones in on the enemy, which is awesome. There's other weapons, like you saw the fire earlier, that's one of the worst weapons in the game. It's strong, but it really sucks. It has like this weird...
difficult to aim, and it doesn't go very far.
There's the scythe, which is cool, and you can hold up and down and maybe kind of move around vertically, but it's pretty weak. The dagger is an incredibly useful weapon. Once it powers up, it becomes like this laser dagger. You can shove tons of them. I made it through the whole game up to the last boss with the dagger.
Actually, you're about to, again, since this is the second chest I've opened without being hit, get a magical upgrade, and now the daggers are lasers, and again, you can shoot them extremely quickly, and they are very powerful if you continue to fire them off.
So as you can see, there's a ton of enemies. The game's made incredibly hard due to like the Castlevania-esque jumping, where you can double jump to switch directions, but outside of that, you're pretty much screwed if you want to turn around. Also, you only get 2 hits regardless of what armor you have. I believe you can get a shield at some point, but that's effectively useless.
The shield will not grant you any extra hits.
It's one of those frustrating games where it's made frustrating just by the control scheme, which isn't really all that fun in my opinion. It's more just kind of a lame cop-out. But whatever. The game's got decent graphics, the music's good, the variety of weapons is pretty sweet. The hidden treasure chests about the levels, the variety of levels, each one seems to have like its own theme. Like there's a water level, an ice level, a fire level, all that stuff.
Yeah, this game's actually pretty big. You'll see after in beat this level, if we ever do, it'll span out and show all the levels, and it's pretty big, which is pretty fun if you could ever make it to the end.
Yeah, you may have heard that the game's pretty big. Actually, what happens is you have to traverse the game twice. The first time you make it through, you'll fight all the way up to outside of the final boss's chamber, and then the game screws you and tells you that you don't have the proper weapon. So it sends you all the way back to the beginning. You have to go through the whole quest again to get this weapon called the magic ring or whatever, which is kind of like a mini Hadouken. The only downside is it's incredibly weak and an absolutely terrible weapon. So once you make it all the way out to the last boss again, you're pretty much screwed because most of the enemies just won't be hurt by this stupid weapon, and you need the weapon to even enter the boss's chamber. In order to get the ring, you have to basically get 4 or 5 chests in a row. So it really becomes obscenely difficult later on. In the second quest, the enemies are faster, there's more of them. You know, it's all around harder.
Yeah, as you see right there, that's those are all the stages, rather, in the game. So it's pretty big, actually.
I don't know if you've heard, but it's pretty big.
It's pretty sizable. Apparently, you have to go
I've heard
through
it's pretty big.
twice with a ring of some sort. Pretty interesting.
And especially on this level, the map will alter itself. I dodged that, but I'm not angry.
I mean, I think that makes the game pretty hard, too. The fact that the map will just change constantly on its own.
Now, I didn't go back for that chest because since I did just get hit, I know it was going to be an angry, violent magician, and I just don't want to deal with that right now because I know I'm not going to get an armor back, and I'm quite happy with the daggers right now, so I don't want to give that up. Oh, I forgot that happened, so that was entirely my fault. Right over that ledge there is actually the first boss, a giant bird that can displace its neck and will shoot eggs out of its mouth and try and kill you.
Yeah, the bosses in this game are kind of uninspired, which is a bummer. Like the boss in the water level is some weird octopus tornado thing that has a shell. It's kind of like, I think it's a sequel. I don't know, I'm not too good with the aquatic animals. I guess I would be. But anyway.
One actual downside I just remembered to the bow's homing mechanism is sometimes it will glitch itself and not home at all. It will just circle the enemy and get stuck there, and you cannot really fire again, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so as irritating as this game seems, once you start to get the hang of it, you actually kind of memorize the maps. Like, for instance, we decided to play this game a couple of years ago and beat it. We were pretty naive, so we didn't actually beat it, but what we did do was leave the Super Nintendo on for like 2 weeks, so we'd go off to school or work or whatever and come back and pick it up and play again. And we beat the first quest in 2 weeks, and then we made it all the way out to outside of the last boss's room, to the last 2 mini-bosses, the ring, and then we left the Super Nintendo on for like a month, and then somebody shut it off, and this is the first time we've played it in a few years. So the game, the second time we played through it only took like a few hours, maybe, you know, half a day or something like that. But
Nice catch. If you press up at some point during that, before you catch the key or while you kill the boss, it will say nice catch, just like it did there. It's a neat little Easter egg and not really worth it, but fun nonetheless.
So as you see here, we're on the second level, and unlike most games we've reviewed, it actually changes, so it's not just like a palette change. We have a whole different level now with the background looks pretty nice, actually. You can see shipwrecks and whatnot.
That being said, I would actually like to take this time to congratulate us on our milestone of being our first next-gen game review. I didn't mean to do that.
For this level. Yeah, the arrow is notorious for holding in on the ghosts and just circling them. And the ghosts come out of everywhere from the screen too, so you don't want to deal with that. But this is one of the funnest levels. Also, in my opinion, one of the hardest. Later on, like, you basically can't fall off the level. Enemies can pop up out of nowhere. The screen moves, the water level rises. It's pretty tough. And
Alright, on that note, be the end of our review, but it's a fun game to play, and it's a good idea to try all weapons once, just because you never know, they might fit your individual playstyle, and different weapons are better for different levels. So
if you get sick of this, though, there is actually a stage select code you can find online if you want to skip ahead and see what else is up, so you don't actually have to struggle through the whole game to see most of it.
Once again, though, that stage select code will not get you the special weapon that is required to beat the last boss on the second playthrough, so you still have to beat the entire game, even if you do use the stage select code. So we hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and have a good one. All right.